Will WrestleMania 23 be the one that we finally complete 100% accuracy? Let's find out in the recreated edition. And of course, before we begin, a few facts. The event took place on April 1st, 2007 from Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. The attendance was 80,103. 28 wrestlers participated at this event. And sadly, we kick it off with a inaccuracy. Upon further review of this, CM Punk is proper attire. If I watched this whole match, Finley had some white pinstripe kind of thing going down his singlet. Hardy's pants were a little bit more detailed and a little different colored, more tannish than more of a dark brown they gave us. So it just wasn't quite 100% accurate. King Booker's pretty close. But looking at all that, there was a little bit of inaccuracies, enough to not count it technically. But you can recreate it. The match figures are all there, and all in, aside from the Edge here pictured, they're all in Jack's form. You can also recreate them, but not in Mattel, because Mr. Kennedy does not have a Mattel action figure yet, or maybe ever, unfortunately. But everybody else you can. So if you want to do, of course, you can go get the Edge that has a similar attire to this. You see it's more red boots. He did have more of authentic attire, however, the deco is missing on it. It doesn't look very accurate. It's a lot of white with just some weird splotches. It doesn't look camo at all. But on to match 2, and you have Great Khali versus Kane. You can recreate this in Jax as well. Mattel, yes, you can recreate it. They do have a basic Khali. Basic Khali's all they ever made. He never got an elite form, which I understand his movement's pretty limited in real life, but elite just would have looked, I felt, better for certain moves, because he can move his legs out a little bit. But point is, you can recreate it. It is very accurate. Then you have Montel Vontavious Porter, known as MVP, versus Chris Benoit. And you're looking right at the picture right now, and you're like, well, wait a minute, that Benoit doesn't have blue. That is true. It did have, for some reason, the figure had gold outline. This is Road to WrestleMania. It was very close. It's mostly all yellow. There is blue missing, and it is a very offset blue. Something I've never probably seen Jax ever conquer or go after. So the MVP, though, is 100% accurate. It is WrestleMania 23 look. Of course, there's decos some missing there. So I decided to count it. It is very accurate. That's the last Benoit you'll ever get. Unless T'Challa Toys or somebody else decides to go down that road, which we are getting a Dynamite Kid. We are getting some controversial people. I don't see Canyon ever getting a figure for some reason. So Benoit's likely as well. But it'd be cool if we did. Otherwise, you have to make customs of them. But I'm going to count as accurate. There's obviously the paint color scheme on the side is blue and it's gold, but majority of it, red. It's yellow tights with black boots. It comes with the U.S. title, even not painted, of course. Then there's the streak continue. Yes, it does. And as you can see right here from the picture, Batista is accurate. I think the decal on the animal is a little bit tiny. They could have made it a little bit bigger. Of course, I'm not going to count the deco. It's the overall attire look. Is it there? And it pretty much is there. Undertaker's there. The World Heavyweight title's there. So kudos to Jax again, back in the day, knocking these out of the park. They weren't height accurate, and they never, but back then we didn't seem to care. Nowadays we're very more spoiled. We want certain people to be a certain size, and we want realism. And I think we've become more realistic aspects or more representation. Same with our figures. I mean, I just started collecting all the Dragon Ball Z figures, and these are I used to see them when I was a kid, and I thought, ew, they're bulky, they're big. Goku's the same size as Raccoon. This is weird. Nowadays, height comparison scale, it's very important in today's collectors. Then on to match 5, the ECW Originals versus the New Breed, and no, it's not accurate. We never got an RVD with the Rising Sun look. Sabu's close, but not as sparkly. Tommy, you're better off getting the Mattel version. It's not purple at all. Sandman, that's pretty much, put him in a shirt and jeans, and you're pretty much Sandman. Throw a tattoo on there. Marcus Corvon, who I thought was going to be a huge deal. I enjoyed him in his time with TNA. Only ever got one figure. It was gold attire. I still have the figure. It's cool. I'd love to see it, tackled in an elite form or something else, but it is what it is. Matt Stryker, Kevin Thorne, Elijah Burke. All people, except for Matt Stryker, I thought, the other three were going to be, mainstays in the ECW brand, win some belts, and just never happened. Then you can recreate the Battle of the Billionaires, hair versus hair. Obviously, you can't recreate the people involved other than the wrestlers, so I didn't count them. I didn't count Vince or Donald Trump, but I did count Bobby Lashley and Umaga, and yeah, that is from their match right there. In fact, fun thing about that Bobby Lashley is that's the only one at the time that had a decal on the back of his signature fingers out, arm posing. So otherwise, all the other ones were just plain biker trunks. So it was cool to have that decal. I remember I used to always look for that one, and when I had that one, all the other ones paled in comparison. The ripped torso, it just looked way more accurate. Umaga, Mattel's knocked out a greater Umaga than this one. He was a big guy, but they always made him overweight looking, which he was, but I like the Mattel versions better. If you want to recreate it, there's the 2-pack for you. Again, I haven't gone into how much these will cost. If that's something people want to see going forward, let me know in the comments, and by WrestleMania 25, I'll start adding that in there. And then we've got match 7, and it's Melina versus Ashley. And no, it's not accurate. You can see Ashley's wearing a red-black kind of get-up here. I looked for the best photo I could find of these two, and this is pretty much the only photo I could find of them. Melina's doing some weird pin on Ashley. This match was not very good, to put it bluntly. But you can recreate, the match. You do have Melina in Mattel. Ashley's only in Jacked. This figure can run you up to $100, if not more. Very rare, hard to find. I've had it a few times. Usually, when I want to start a new collection, I usually grab a few that are sitting on the shelf that I just have no use for anymore, and that's how I start funding my new desire for new collection. And then the main event. Only really 8 matches on this card, but Shawn Michaels versus John Cena, and you can recreate it in the WrestleMania 23. I love the Shawn Michaels attire. I have the basic version of it. It'd be cool to see an Ultimate or an Elite version. I know we're getting a Elite from the WrestleMania 38 Road Series, wherever it is coming up, the WrestleMania 38 Series Shawn Michaels. It looks like it's probably going to be his retirement, his WrestleMania 26 retirement. I'm not counting Saudi Arabia. But I'd love to see like an Ultimate or an Elite of that attire. Cena, you can pretty much get tons of green short John Cena's, but if you want the authentic version, snag this one. It even comes with a belt. I don't think the belt's painted, but again, go for a Mattel belt. They look way nicer anyway. Not to dog on Jax. This is a Jax set, and it was great for its time. And there is some painted versions of the spinner belt out there. It did spin, but yeah. So let's break it down. So you could recreate this event. So that's the second WrestleMania in a row, again, that we can recreate 100%. Jax has all 28 figures. So, but Mattel does have 19 of those figures. So it's at 67%. So you could go with 19 Mattel figures and then fill in the rest with Jax. Jacks are becoming more costly. At least the classic superstars in mock form will run you a lot of money. But these more modern figures, not so much. Now, as time goes on, the plastic does wear down in the jacks. They do become wonky. I've got a few that arms just fall out of the socket. I don't move them; they just fall apart. So keep that in mind if you're a heavy figure player. Um, may not be best to snag a bunch of old Jakks figures anymore because that plastic is breaking down. Um, Mattel, I've got some 10 plus year old figures. They squeak a little bit, but they're still holding strong. Now accuracy, 62%. But and not to sit there and dog on Mattel or anything like that. Everything's going to break down eventually. If the figure's not in the original box when you get it, even if it is, no matter what, materials break down over time. So um, I know that for a fact that I'm collecting stuff right now, and in 20 years it'll probably look great in the box still, but it may not be very operational once you take it out of the box for very long. Now, of course, as always, I want to thank you for watching. Ring the bell, subscribe. I've seen people watching the videos. Subscribing, to me, it doesn't obviously. You don't have to if you want. If you want to know about new videos popping up, then feel free to subscribe. If you don't feel like doing that, or you feel like the channel's not there yet, then please leave a suggestion. Again, this is not my only job. I work 3 jobs, so I'm doing this when I can. Again, videos are few and far, well, not few and far between, but they're a little far between. I did have some free time during the lull before school started as a teacher, and so I decided to just climb in and try to build up 100 videos beforehand, but time's running out and it takes longer than I thought. But again, check back for the WrestleMania 24 edition. Fair warning, I did use a funky font to try to liven it up a little bit, give it more of a, I guess, a Florida outdoor feel kind of thing. And all images are just used for attire accuracy, and all rights are reserved. I'm not trying to steal from WWE. I'm not trying to steal from somebody's website. I am literally looking for pictures of the attire so we can compare them to the figure and go, yes, that's accurate, or that's not correct. That's not right. All right. I look forward to see you next time on WrestleMania 24 edition of the Recreate series.